Greetings of the day. I am Dr. Renu. I am here to present a session on human resource management. It is beneficial for those students who are studying in BBA, BCom, MCom, vocational courses. In case of the another streams like hotel management, like engineering, whose subject is optional. I am trying at my level very best to make it more comfortable, ease at your part to understand the subject. My objective of this session is to make you have a crystal clear clarity about the aspect of human resource management, the various aspects of this, how it previously moves, what is the evolution of that, and what is the present tense, how it becomes in the strategic sense. What is the role of the HR manager? What is the effect of the strategic as well as the environmental effect on the HR manager roles? I hope you people will like this session. Evolution of the human resource. See, from the origination to the strategic period, the human resource moves from the industrial relation to the trade union, then to the welfare management, and then to your personal management, about which you heard about it a lot. Then it reaches to, in the 21st century, it moves to human relation management. The industrial era, which was really very famous for the rigorous working rules applicable to the large number of the people. Extensive hierarchy of the officials appeared in that era. More so, the social distance between the factory and the owner was increasing widely. Where in that era, the employees in the factories worked for longer hours, low wages, extremely bad conditions, working conditions I am talking about. So the new industrial era brought the materialism, discipline, monotony, boredom, job displacement, impersonality, and so on. After this era, the trade unionism era enters. The inevitable era with the association of the wage earners, which would rise to protect the workers themselves against the abusive industrial revolution. Focus on the improvement in the working conditions, emergence of the trade unions and the trade and the labor unions. Strikes was the consequences because of the lack of good working conditions. Number of acts formulated and introduced at that moment. The moment which is recognized today for the individual employee rights and the union rights and power. Or I can say, even today, the era is recognized for union management relation. Next, the moment when we entered, or the era in which we entered, is welfare management and personal management. If I talk about welfare management and personal management, or I can say the personal specialist and the welfare era, with the increase in the sizes of the organization, higher fire of the personal functions, full-time managers allocation required, and the appointment to determine the wage rates, job descriptions, job specifications, benefits, services for the employees were considered. Era in which the labor relations specialists appointed, era in which the welfare officers emerged, era in which the personal manager emerged, right? Or I can say the emphasis is was shifted to management of human resource, management of human relation. So now we are in the era of human relation management. Now, if I talk about the challenges facing the HR manager in the recent century, see, the human issues, they are influenced by micro as well as macro. Micro, which is related to very smaller, and macro is at the larger aspect. If I talk about the internal and external, how can I leave myself, or how can I stay away from the aspect of social, legal, economical, political, technological aspects. The environment which is purely external and at the macro level, at the large level, means the economical aspect or the technological aspect. It affects on the human being in the terms of the technology, in the terms of the new skill requirements, right, in the terms of the understanding that new technology, or in the terms of the economic conditions, the rise in wages, low in wages, and it affects on the whole employment market. Right, and definitely it affects on the human issues. Human resource management. If anyone talks about these three words which relates to managing the people, skill, knowledge and the ability effectively, efficiently and more commonly in an integrated way. Definitely this HRM deals with the human related issues, the issues related to hiring of the people, recruitment and selection, which is termed as compensation as per the work which is performed by them. Accordingly, the need is to compensate them, to give them the increment, to give them the recognition, or to give them the job enrichment in any way. Performance management. Performance management is to appraise their performance, understand their performance level, right? And again, the various criteria are there to understand the performance, to measure their performance. Communication. Communication is to communicate them effectively in that mode in which you are looking for the task to be performed by the employee. Training, safety, train them, impart them the proper skill so that they will do the work, they will perform the work, right? And as per the organization requirements. Then is motivation, infringe or fringe motivation tools, either in the form of monetary or in the form of the non-monetary modes. The need is to motivate them, encourage them, contribute their best efforts towards the organization. Now, if I talk about, or if I ask you this question, that what is actually the basic difference in the personnel management and the HRM, because earlier it was personnel. Now, if personnel is where the orientation, means the base of that management was totally to maintain the people, not need to focus on the development, but now the aspect is to focus more and more trainings. As per the competitive environment, focus on your men. Men is an important resource or a source of an organization, a vital important source on which the need is to focus and the need is to polish that source. Structure. Where the structure focused in the personnel was totally dependent upon the men, right? But in nowadays, in management says it is totally interdependent, and if one will do the good work, the other will do. The performance is based on each other, which leads to, basically, if I say, team spirit, team work. In personnel, the philosophy is totally reactive, immediately reactive. But here, now, in this era, we look for proactive, foresee for the future. No need to go for outsourcing. Let my employee, let my team, let my men or my new breed to be talented by way of some skills, imparting skills, trainings, sessions, workshops, so that they will handle the future situation. Performance based was the personnel management outcome, but today it is purely related to done. Then decisional. Decisional is that act as an entrepreneur, right? Takes the risk, bear the risk, deal with the risk. He acts as a disturbance handler, any kind of a conflict, any kind of a strike. Now, if I talk about
act as that handler,
any kind of problem, of the like manager
lack
is
of resources,
shortage of resources.
It is interpersonal,
Any kind of strike,
decision,
he deals with the situation. Right. In case of negotiator, negotiate with the staff, support
of
them,
the organization,
appreciate them,
where
and let
he
them be the
maintain a
part of
liaison
the
within the different parties and reflect
after
the
this,
organization,
it is
the
very
present
important to let you know
act as a
that
figurehead
how
in case
now
of
the
any
role
conference or
changes
and
how they become more
your
strategic.
TV conferences, right?
Strategic,
What
where
happened?
the focus
Act as a
of
figurehead
the
of the
manager
whole organization,
is strategic
present the
focus
detailed
and the
information
operational focus
to the public.
Now,
In case
when
of
the focus is
information,
strategic
how informational,
or the operational,
each and everything,
here
control
the
on that
people
information,
interact with
balance
the
sheets,
system.
figureheads. He acts as a
Right.
disseminator.
So people
Whatever the
interact with
information
system
is,
and
disseminate
out of that,
among the
their
respective
focus is on
stakeholders on the
strategic
basis of
and the
whom
operational.
the
Where
organization
in case
future
of
is
the
based.
interaction of the people with the
Future means
strategic
further
leads to change
investments are
agent.
based.
Change agent,
Even
where they
new
focus
breed is
on
also
some
possible. The new
change
talent
in an
entry is also
organization.
possible on the
Some
basis
those
of
changes
disseminating the accurate
which are
information
actually
in the
required
public.
in an organization
Act
as per the
spokesman,
changing scenario,
right?
as per the changing
in case of
situations.
any conference, he
Right.
acts as a
So
spokesman.
that's why it
Done.
is
Then decisional.
treated as
Decisional is
it is
that
treated
act
as
as
the
an entrepreneur,
change
right,
agent.
takes the
I
risk,
hope
bear the
you are
risk,
able
deal
to
with the risk.
understand the point.
He acts as a disturbance handler,
That
any
how
kind of a conflict,
it
any
act
kind
as
of a strike.
the change
Act as that
agent.
handler,
Right.
any kind of
Then
problem like lack of
no
resources,
doubt in
shortage
this
of resources.
they try to
Like any kind
identify
of strike,
or
act
they
as
become
he deal
the
with the
employee
situation. In case
champion,
of
the
negotiator,
champion
negotiate
of the
with the staff,
organization,
them,
right?
appreciate
So
them,
the
and
employee
let them be the
champion
part
is
of
where
the organization.
HR needs to be the employee voice in the management decision, right? It emerges as the employee champion. So here he must be able to relate and to meet the needs of employee, right? Help them. For example, if I say that how to set the priorities, right? How to eliminate the non-value added work, how to clarify the goals, right? So it becomes involved in decision making. It increases their commitment, it increases their economic gains, right? In this way, the economic champion. If I talk about expert is in the terms of the efficiency of the HR manager or the HR head is create the value with the changed role. He must be able to, re-engineer the HR activities through the use of technology, through the use of rethinking, through the use of redesigning the work process, continuous improvement, right? Or the organization processes. I hope it is clear. Now, if I talk about that, he to act as a company champion also. If the company champion is, I talked about the company champion. If I talk about the employee champion, then employee champion in the terms of employee voice. If I talk about the company champion, then choice of company voice in management decision and becoming, a part of the business team. Then means he is what I want to say, that he acts as a dual responsibility. The dual responsibility of employee champion, company champion, create the tension in that manager to learn the balance in the both demands.
So this is basically the champion in both terms. In case of the strategic partner is that he becomes essential part of the management team. The essential part of the management team is basically towards the organization, contribute towards the achievement of the organization goal, translate that strategy into the action, because until and unless he is not going to translate into the action, every task becomes futile. I hope it is clear now. Now, if I talk about the functions of the HR manager, broadly we are not aware of that these are classified into the management functions and the operative functions. Managerial is planning, organizing, directing, controlling, right? So this is your managerial. Operative is related to procure, develop, compensate, integrate and maintain, right? Procure karenge, develop that, compensate them. Procure means get the best human resource, best asset, best talent, then develop them by way of providing them training, compensate them well, then integrate them with their skill as well as their knowledge towards the organization. Now, what are the main factors after all which influence the HRM? What are those factors which influence the human resource management, and why there is a need to study about those factors, why there is a need to study about these factors of HRM, right? So these factors are basically classified, and these factors are the size of workforce, rising employee expectation, composition of workforce, new skill acquired. More so, the impact of the new economic policy, political ideology, downsizing, culture. These are the factors which actually influence the human resource management, right? So very important to understand these factors which influence the human resource management, right? So which we will discuss in another chapters in detail, because this is the basic chapter. Now, strategic management. If anyone talks with you, if anyone asks you, by after all, what is the strategic management and HR? The strategic is where the HR, your head, is going to take the strategic decisions. He is going to integrate in all managerial activities, all HR activities. He is the one who integrates in all the functions, align those functions with the company strategy. Now, this is the model. I hope you are able to get the clarity. The model of the strategic HRM, where the external environment influencing the corporate strategy, and that here the internal means the culture, the structure, the politics, employee skills, those are also affecting, and which leads to the competition, government regulations, those get effect, right? Which corporate strategy is affecting on all those market trends and economic conditions, which is affecting on planning, HR design, and how the jobs interface, and which leads to the employee separation. They leave, either law regulations affect, right? Hiring and firing is there, and on the basis of this, the HR planning design, which leads to staffing, means recruitment, training, their management, performance management, compensation and labor relation. No doubt the training, on the basis of the training, the compensation is fully based, because once they are trained, their performance is judged, then only they will be compensated in the terms of the incentives, increments, otherwise not. So in this whole session, a glimpse on the strategic as well as on the old era or perspective on the human relations, human resource management is taken place. I hope you are able to understand this session and like the session. Please like and subscribe the session so that I will contribute best of my efforts. Thank you for listening.